Actually, I'm gonna pull up the YouTube just so we can see the comments.
Hey, what's up, guys? Joker here for TGW88. I am joined once again by Tyler from Mayflower Electronics. I've been on a few times in the past. For people that maybe aren't familiar, want to tell people what you do?
So I sell headphone amplifiers and headphones. Um,
The ones I'm using right now, actually,
yeah,
and the DAC I'm using right now.
and I'm just here for fun. So I'm not here to plug anything or be a seller or anything. So
Yeah, and if you want any proof whether or not they're good, I mean, just how long have I been wearing these on TGW? Pretty much since I've got them, and I've been using the DAC since I got it. So
have you? You didn't use the Mark? Did you use the Mark Twos?
no, I never had the Mark. I never had
No.
the Mark twos. You had held on to those, and then I had them for a short period of time, and I sent them back.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Oh,
But
yeah,
the
just compare. That's right.
yeah, what do you the hi-fi? What do you wear right now? Hi-fi man 550s or 500s?
HE 400Is. They're just what I have laying around, so I'm just using them.
Are those is that the cable that might work on my California headphones? Because I've heard I've heard people having mixed results with the California headphones. Trying
No,
to get
these are
replacement
these
cables.
are 2.5 millimeter. I think the
Okay.
Californias are 3.5 millimeter. These are
Yeah.
split 2.5.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's been really hard. I've heard a couple people on the forums talking about it, trying to get replacement cables, but no one can really get them.
I forgot. Isn't it just a straight 3.5 millimeter? No, it's split two.
It's a little. It's I don't know. It's different. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
like
it's
I
two
think
3.5 millimeter. Right?
it's mono though. It's split mono.
Oh yeah,
One
that's weird. You have to make a custom cable for that. That's
exactly. Yeah. Each side only has one line on the connector,
yeah,
the one
that's
connecting
dumb.
line. What's that
But
line? What's that line called, by the way?
what's that? What called?
Like on the analog switch, it has the lines like one, two, or three. Do those have a name?
Left, right, and ground. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, the lines. Yeah. I was
Yeah,
just wondering if they're called lines or what are they called? Just
wires.
left, right, and ground.
Yeah, yeah. So you mean so I've got two right here. It's left and ground, right and ground, and then it goes into this. Is that if that's what you're talking about?
Well, yeah, I was just like the plug that actually goes into the jack. I was wondering as far as like if there was a labeled diagram of what that whole thing is called, if they have names. Like if you look at a headphone, like the inside of the cup is like the baffle. It's got like a technical name,
Oh,
you know?
yeah. I think I know. Yeah, it's just a plug. I don't know. I don't think there's a regular name for it.
I was just curious. I'm trying to find fancy words to talk about them when I talk about them in videos. So I've got
Yeah.
fancy stuff. So, yeah. So welcome back. I'm probably going to be seeing Tyler in just a few weeks. Actually, PAX is coming up. I'm going to be at PAX. It's March 10th through 12th. I've got info up here now. I'm really excited about it. So yeah, if anyone's going to be going to PAX, I put out a tweet earlier. I think I got like one reply. I was thinking about maybe doing something like a fan meetup or whatever, maybe just in the city of Boston. So if you live in Boston, but if you're not going to PAX, you can still come. It wouldn't necessarily be at the event, but maybe like just grab a beer or something like that. One of those nights could be pretty fun. So yeah, looking forward to PAX. Other events this year. The only other one I know I'm going to for sure is Land Syndicate. Are you going to the
Definitely.
next one?
Of course. I cannot miss that. I have never had so much fun in my life. That was one of the best nights of my life when me and you were hanging out with all of our other friends. It was
Yeah.
so fun.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if we were going to get another Land Syndicate, after, everything had happened. I'm glad we finally started getting some more details, though, from Logan and stuff yesterday.
I'm putting the
Um,
website in the chat.
I've got it in the description, actually. I
Oh,
put it,
perfect.
yeah,
There you go.
I've got it up on the screen here. So, yeah, the last one was in Seattle last year. It was such an amazing time. And they're going to be doing it again this year. It's going to be in September in Kansas City, Missouri at Union Station. They don't have tickets on sale yet, but last year I think they were $75 each. But
I
they
think
don't
so.
have any. They don't have anything up on the tickets yet. But
It's in September, so you got 200 some days or whatever it says on the website. You've got some time to prepare.
yeah, we've got a decent amount of run up time to prepare if you're thinking about it. Not necessarily like PAX, which is right around the corner. It's sold out already, but yeah, it's Land Syndicates. It's something I'm definitely going to go to. Tyler's going to. So if anyone goes, or if you're in Kansas City, hope to see you guys there. Should be pretty fun. I don't know. I didn't talk to you about this before. I usually do like the tech pickups. You don't have anything new you'd want to show, do you? Or
Uh,
personal news or anything you want to share?
no, I'm just here to comment on the
Yeah.
story here. So
Yeah, we're just gonna be kicking it and talking about AMD pretty much, which is coming pretty soon. So I had an incident happen this past week. My phone actually broke. I was shoveling snow. It was like last Thursday. It was like the day after TGW. I was shoveling the snow. We had the snowstorm here in Jersey, and I got snow down in my pocket, and it went down into I guess the headphone jack or the charging port on my Galaxy S6 Edge. which really sucked. It just wouldn't take a charge anymore, so I had to go run out, and I got the S7 Edge now. So I only had to pay like an extra $100 to end my lease early, and then they gave me the S7 Edge, which wasn't too bad. Although now I'm kind of disappointed because like literally 2 days after, we've got leaked photos of the Galaxy S8, which is now rumored to launch in March, just right around the corner. I was like, I couldn't have gotten snow on my phone next month.
It's always like that though. As soon as you buy a video card, the next one comes out. It's with everything.
Yeah, and this I got some of the leaked images up here. They look, I don't know. We don't see the phone yet, but we got like the front glass piece, and it just looks like the bezel is like almost non-existent. So it's just, I don't know. It looks really cool. I can't wait to see the final one. Although I probably won't get one until next year when I break my next phone. Unless I can end the lease on this one early. Maybe they'll let me do that.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. Other thing I was going to show you guys is I've got a build video coming either tomorrow or Friday. It's the new gaming rig. Grab it. It's really heavy. It's very, very heavy. Ugh. There it is. Ooh. Yeah, it's really heavy. Oh my god. That's in the Be Quiet Dark Base Pro 900. On the bottom, it's got a PSU shroud from V1 Tech. That's not meant to. That usually is not in there. But they did a custom one for me with the Joker Productions logo, and they also did a matching one, a matte backplate for my GTX 1080, because this is going to be like full-time gaming rig. That's the plan here, is to do full-time gaming rig on the KB Lake build, and then I'm going to have eventually, probably next month or so, 8-core Ryzen build, and that'll be my new daily use and editing rig. While I'll be using this for gaming because I just, the frames on it are just way better using the quad cores overclocked to 5 gigahertz. And I know you were waiting to do a build too, right? We were talking about that like last month. Have you made it? What are your thoughts on that now moving forward?
I don't know what I'm doing with it. So I was talking to him, and he already knows this, but so I want to get a Titan, but I don't like the stock cooler. I'm sure it's fine, but I don't like the stock cooler. And NVIDIA's, whatever reason, thinks they don't want to give these to board partners, so I can't get an upgraded aftermarket cooler. So I have to go water cooling, and I don't mind doing water cooling. I can do that easily. I've done it with my other rigs before. It's not that issue. It's just once you water cool a rig, it's kind of like it's a pain in the ass to change things, so you're kind of stuck with the computer for like a year to 2 years because I just don't want the hassle of taking it apart. And then I'm like, well, with the 1080, if I wait for the so this is a month ago, and that was when the 1080 Ti was supposed to come out on
at CES.
CES.
We were thinking it would come out at CES. So he was
like,
no,
I'll
just wait for that. Now it's like
and now it's like
GTC maybe in like April.
Yeah, it's
May.
Like so, and then now AMD's coming out with stuff, so it's like, because when I like to build computers, like to at least keep them around for a year or two. I'll just get whatever the best is at the market at the time. I'll just buy that, and then I'll deal with it for 2 years. But I want to make sure whatever I buy, I don't get something like with your phone. I don't want to buy something, and then a month later have something come out that's like 30% faster.
Yep.
So I'm just waiting. So that's what I'm at right now. But I am actually planning on using that same case, the Dark Rock Pro.
Yeah, Flankin says used a closed loop cooler. Well, we had looked into that, but EVGA hadn't released them yet. We were looking for like getting one of the Hydro coolers or whatever from EVGA, whatever it's called. Hydro, is that what it's called? EVGA Hydro? So. Yeah, they make their all-in-one liquid coolers that you could throw on a GPU. But at the time, they had kind of teased it, but they hadn't posted them yet, and they hadn't started selling them. I think they did start selling them with attached, but if you could find them, they were like $1,700, like an insane markup on it for just.
Well, here's the thing too, is that
like $100 cooler on it.
If I'm going to do water cooling, I'm going to do it the right way. I'm not going to half-ass it. So it's either I'm going to do a custom loop or I'm going to have a really good air cooler. I'm not going to do like an AIO in between. So that's my. If I'm doing it, I'm just going to go do all the way and do it right.
And it sounds like you'd rather just wait for a 1080 Ti or Vega, which hopefully...
Or something. The Titan X, it's just, I don't know. It's fucking awesome, but I don't know.
It's really fast. It really is really fast.
It is super fast, but I don't know if it's expensive. I don't know.
They're very expensive. It's depressing though when a game comes out and I'm like sitting here with my trying to play at 1440p and my buddy has a Titan X and I'm playing at 60 frames, but I'm like just there. I might be dipping below 60 sometimes. He's like, oh, I'm getting like 90.
Yeah.
Or we're playing Sniper Elite yesterday, and he's like, "Oh, I'm getting like 110 FPS," and he's like, "Oh, I'm getting 144 capped, and I'm only using 60% GPU," and I'm just like, "You what, mate? Like you what?" I was like, I need that in my life. I need that in my life. Yeah, I just need to get on the next Titan kind of upgrade path. That's what I want to do, so I can just upgrade every Titan that comes out, and then I don't have to worry about it, or second guess myself with, oh, should I get a 1080 or two 1080s, or
That's the thing too is
every Titan. Just get every Titan. That's my plan. I'm not saying that's what anyone else should do. That's what I want to do.
that, and I really I had two 980s is what I have right now, and at the time it was like I bought two 980s the day they came out. I love how much raw power you can have with two video cards, but just the issues with SLI, it's almost outweighs the benefit of it sometimes.
Yeah, that's kind of why I got away from it.
Things like Battlefield 1, it doesn't work with SLI and DirectX 12. So I'm stuck doing like 38, 40 FPS at 1440p with everything maxed out. And now my awesome awesome computer is running at 40 FPS because of SLI, because it doesn't work with certain games. So I don't know. I can't. I'm a very indecisive person, so I'm just waiting until something happens.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I haven't used SLI since like last May, so I don't even like these new games that are coming out. I haven't really even been keeping track of which ones are supporting SLI and which ones aren't, and how well it's optimized. And to be honest, it's kind of a relief not having to worry about it.
Yeah.
Because like games would come out, and I would just be angry that I had all this money just sitting there wasted to the point where sometimes I wouldn't even want to play the games. I was just like, I don't even want to play this game because it's unoptimized, and it just pisses me off that it's not optimized properly. And whereas now every game that comes out, it's just like, oh, 99% usage over 60 frames at 1440p. This is what I want.
So I would love to have a card I want a card, which I think is a Titan, which is significantly faster than two 980s, and runs cooler. I don't know I think it's a Titan underwater, but
Probably underwater, yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Well, also you have to account that you're getting rid of the heat from the SLI that you'd be using.
Right.
Are your SLI GPUs underwater though?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So how hot do those get?
It's not the heat. Here's the thing: is that when you have water cooling, as you know, I'm sure, all the heat instead of going inside the computer goes outside the computer. So when I'm in a new apartment now. My old apartment was a small little room, and I had to open up the window because it got so hot in my room. So now it's not too much of a big deal, but it's still. I don't know. It's sorry. By the way, I apologize for the echo-ness. There's nothing in this room, but even
you can reduce the sensitivity on your mic a little bit. It'll dial it down a tiny bit.
Do that. But I don't want the computer to affect like the temperature in my room if that's possible.
No, yeah, no, I know what you mean. I've never had that effect really. I've never really felt like even when my PC's getting really warm, I didn't really feel like it was affecting the room temperature.
Well, you have a big room, so
I do. Yeah, I do have a really big room here, very high ceilings and all that. So yeah, that's probably a fair point.
Like this is probably maybe 100 square feet, and this is bigger than my old one. So
yeah. Yeah, it's probably. I've always had my computers in big rooms. Like in my last apartment, I had it in the living room, and then here in this house, I've got it in the back bedroom, which is just very big. Mm-hmm. But yeah, let's get into talking about some Ryzen stuff. I think some people are getting antsy about hearing about Ryzen in the chat.
Indeed.
I know. Is this something that is now maybe on your mind as well with the new build? Are you thinking about Ryzen too?
I'm very excited for this for AMD. This is what they need. Like if this can be like we were talking before. This could be like the past, like back with the Athlon days. I mean, this could be huge if everything goes out right, and the CPUs are reliable and they overclock well and don't get too hot. I might end up picking up an AMD CPU, and I haven't thought about that since I built my first computer in like 2007.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I know they've. Like, since I got back into PC gaming, which was around the time of Sandy Bridge, at that time they were being very competitive with Sandy Bridge because they had their 8-core CPUs, which, were pretty close to their FX CPUs with that. But, Intel over time has basically increased their lead over them, and AMD has pretty much stayed in the exact same place. They've gone pretty much nowhere since the time I got back into PC gaming in like 2012 until now.
Yep.
They've pretty much stayed right, as far as the CPUs are concerned anyway.
They're so outdated.
So yeah, and then the motherboard's also outdated when they're, wanting to update to using things like got like a few gaming boards that have come out from like MSI and Asus, and they try adding in things like USB Type C and whatever, and then they have to add in these different controllers where it's not really supported necessarily on the chipset, but they add them in anyway. So yeah, it's a good thing that Ryzen is coming pretty soon, and this info over on DigiWorthy is pointing to February 28th, where they're saying that the Ryzen 7 CPUs will have reviews going up from reviewers. I don't know if that's 100% true or not. I haven't heard anything about getting any samples yet on Ryzen, but they're saying that review samples or the review embargo would lift on the 28th. So, and then conceivably we would be seeing them on store shelves by March 2nd. So just a few days after, which that's great. It's only a couple of weeks away. I think AMD absolutely needs this, and it's kind of been reflected. We were talking about this earlier in the stock prices. You were saying what was $1.67 around this time last year? It's like as low as $1.67, and now it's over 13.
Yeah, it's as if someone had we were talking about this too. If someone would have even if they dumped in $100 or $200 in AMD, then they're gonna make so much money in the next couple weeks. And I'm actually thinking about also investing in AMD. I think right now they're around $13. I think I just checked. And
$13.30.
$13.30. And if they get, because I looked in 2000 in the Athlon days, they're up to $93 or something like that a share.
Yeah.
And even if they get half of that, $13 right now is a pretty good investment. Just throwing down a couple of grand and see what happens. I mean, you're not going to lose money. I know you're not going to lose money.
With as low it is, it's unlikely unless Ryzen comes out and is a complete bust. Because 13 is still really low for them. I mean, it's come up a lot from $1.67 in just a year. I mean, think about it. If you had bought it at that time, you could have 6 times what you invested roughly a year ago, which I really wish I had like 10 grand a year to go to buy it, because I'd have 60 grand now, which would have been awesome. But yeah, but now if you buy it, 13 it seems still pretty cheap. And it seems likely that it could double, possibly even triple on, in a really good case scenario. And in the past, we've seen it higher than that. That was the peak. It was up at 93. But it seems like over the years, it's kind of hovered in that like $20 to $30 range, kind of over time, where they've been competitive with Intel. And then in the past years, they've kind of slumped down since then. So if they come up to around that $30 price point even, you're looking at almost 2 to 2.5 times your investment, which could be really good.
Yeah, put it this way: you're not going to lose money, no matter how much money you throw at it, unless you're gonna.
Well, don't tell people that. We're not that guy from what's MSNBC. What's the guy that yells all the time and hitting buttons and buzzers are going off?
Okay, I'm disclaimer: don't listen to me. But I don't think you're going to lose any money. I don't think it's even possible at $13 a share right now. So, the worst case, you'll keep your money. You get money back out of it, but I highly doubt that'll even happen. So,
I turned my mic up a little bit for the people saying something about it, but I'm kind of hesitant to turn it up because like last week I listened back to the show, and like every time the guest talk, which I think was Anthony last week, you could hear me breathing, and I don't want to hear that. It's like everyone's like, oh, listen to this fat mouth breather, which is a fair point. I am a fat guy and I breathe through my mouth heavily, so yes. But if I was watching a tech podcast, I wouldn't want to listen to that shit either. So I completely respect wanting to have good audio. So I dialed it a little bit. I'll try talking louder. But yeah, I'm trying to not breathe when Tyler speaks, so you don't have to listen to. That's not a good look. Not a good look. But yeah, it looks like Ryzen should be coming pretty soon. I did a story on this like a few days ago. We had like the full pricing lineup. It's looking like their 1800X CPU could be around $499 with the 8-core 16 threads boosting up to 4 gigahertz. That's like the Black Edition top tier. But there were other leaks that had come out this week that were pointing to motherboard pricing being between like $50 to $200, kind of on the high end. Up to $200, which is going to be really big for AMD when it compares to Intel.
Yeah, I mean, you look at what's the 7700K right now? 300 some bucks.
About $350.
A decent motherboard's what, $200 from?
Yeah, you can find some for like the 150 range, but yeah, around 200 is like a very respectable motherboard with most of the features, and you can go as high as 400 and up though when you talk about the Asus ROG ones.
Right. But now you could look at AMD. Now with an extra $100, instead of getting the best consumer grade i7 and then a medium Intel motherboard, you can get the best AMD CPU and probably one of, if not the best, AMD motherboards for an extra $100. You know what I mean? And from the benchmarks, do you want to go on to that? Is that okay?
Well, yeah, we could talk about that. Yeah, it's
Okay. So with benchmarks, if you I don't know if you want to pull that up and show the people there. Um,
the graph that I did the other day on the video. I don't have that up.
okay.
But it was the 6800K versus the 7700K video where I did cores versus clocks, which essentially showed that having the higher core count only benefited one game, which I think was GTA 5. All of the other games, the 7700K handily won against the 6800K because of the higher frequency speed, able to get more frame rate. So that's my concern as well. This is really exciting having these 8-core 16-threaded CPUs. Is how is that going to translate at the end of the day for gamers? And I still think for at least the enthusiasts out there that are just concerned with getting the most frames possible, then they might still end up going for quad cores unless they, with the higher clock speeds, because that might give it the most frames. We still got to see when they come out. We might be proven wrong. But, with having a lower clock speed, I don't see them beating out the 5 gigahertz CPUs for enthusiasts. But they have a lot of CPUs coming out, 17 different CPUs at different price points. So I think these are going to be amazing for people that either do want to take advantage of having the extra cores for strong workloads, or budget-oriented gamers who can now get 4 and 6 core CPUs for really cheap, paired with cheap motherboards as well. So,
And and also we don't know how high this thing overclocks. You don't know. The top tier one might be able to overclock to like 4.7, 4.9 gigahertz without getting too hot on like an AIO. That would be fantastic. And now you're talking basically 7700K clock speeds and then with 16 cores. So that'd be pretty cool. For what,
yeah.
$500? Oh, is that what they want? Yep.
Yeah, for $500 paired with a $200 motherboard, you're looking at about $700 there. Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of enthusiasts that are going to do that want the cores and the threads, and then I think there's going to be others that are going to say, I just want the most frames possible. I'm a 144 hertz gamer, and I want higher clock speeds. And we'll see what happens. And these things very well may be insane overclockers. We really don't know yet. There hasn't been any real talk yet about just how well these things can overclock. I'm kind of thinking that they'll hit a ceiling of around 4.5 to 4.6 on some real Silicon Lottery winners. But yeah, time will tell. We're getting real close. We had the box art actually got leaked for Ryzen this past week, which looks sexy as all hell. Like I know it's just a box. Like that's how hyped people are getting now for like the Ryzen CPUs, that we're starting to get into minutia of being hyped for boxes.
I don't know. I like that box.
That's a sexy box.
Just plain. I just want a plain box with plain black box with a logo. What are you selling? What are the basic specs? And that's it. And that's what the box is.
Like that is a box that I would not throw away. That is a box that I would proudly display on my desk or somewhere in the background. It's like, this is a sexy box, and I'm going to put this here. So, good job. I think that's another thing, is that with the stock prices rising with AMD, I think they've done an amazing job over the past year with their marketing. Because before that, it felt like it was non-existent, and they moved into the Better Red thing. They've got the Ryzen campaign going now. I think they've done a fantastic job pretty much turning that company around, going from $1.67 a share to $13 a share.
Basically bankrupt to, wow, these guys are going to make me some money. You get laughed at like a year ago. See, the thing is, people who invested probably that back then were probably laughed at. Because, like, why would you buy a stock in a failing company? But, now they're the smart people. Now they're going to make a bunch of money.
Some people in chat are saying that the box looks fake. The original it was posted up on a Thailand retailer. So it's highly possible that maybe they photoshopped their own box as a placeholder for Ryzen. That's highly possible. So, yeah, here's the other image. I forgot to show this before. It shows the 9 different boxes for all the different CPUs. They're pretty much identical. But yeah, it was on a Thailand website which had them up for pre-order. So yeah, if that is the final box, then fair game. I don't think we need to sit here and argue about the boxes. If that's not the box, then I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry if that's not the box, and I'm wrong about this one. But it looks sexy though. There have even been people over on the AMD subreddit who've been posting things like case badges that might come with it, like just their own photoshopped artwork of what they would like a case badge to look like, and some of them look really good. I was like, I want that on my case. Like, that looks sexy. I like the colors on this. It's good stuff.
I'd buy it.
What's that?
So I'd buy it.
I'd buy that for $1. If you live in Thailand, it looks like they said the 1800X was listed at 18,790 baht, which equates to about $537, which is a little bit higher than the $499 they say here that we had talked about earlier. But that's likely, inflation and different countries and exchange rates and all that stuff. So hopefully it will be import tax, yada yada yada. This is the last AMD thing I think we have for now is the Capsaicin event. It's going to be coming up at the end of the month on February 28th. They're holding it at GDC. So this is a big graphics event. Game Developers Conference, going to be showing a lot of graphics cards and videos, meant to be showing off some stuff probably. And then AMD is probably going to be showing off something with Vega, which is really exciting. I don't know how close we are to release yet on that though. I feel like the 1080 Ti is kind of sitting on the bench waiting for AMD to make this move with Vega.
It's ready. They're waiting for AMD to make a move.
Yeah, I think I feel like that's what they've been doing for the past few years. Is just they kind of react to what AMD does, or if they know what they're going to do ahead of time, they just kind of react to it.
Hey Joker, would you say this event is going to be hot?
I would say that. Yeah, it might be hot. Yeah, I was reading I had gotten an invite to the event. I won't be going. It's in San Francisco. But I won't be going though, because it was just it was too short notice to make travel plans all the way out to San Francisco. But it was so funny how the email was like, we invite you to Capsaicin, and then they go into like a 2-line preamble explaining what the word capsaicin means, and but they never explained to how that ties into AMD. We're just like, capsaicin is something from peppers, and this I'm just like, all right, cool story, bro. It's like you want to show me some graphics cards now, like that you've educated me on peppers. How many Scoville units is the Vega GPU going to be? By the way, Scoville units is what they use to measure the temperature of peppers and how hot it is when you eat them.
There you go.
The more you know.
Before I forget, remember when you asked me at the beginning if I have anything to bring up with tech related? Yes. Where I moved, I have Verizon Fios, and I don't have to give a dime ever to Time Warner Cable again. So that's exciting.
Comcast is awful. Let me just tell you, I don't have Comcast. My girlfriend has Comcast, and she has a 250 megabit connection, which is double what I have, and the Wi-Fi is just horrendous, though. I cannot use Wi-Fi over there, like, at all.
Is it the router that they gave her?
Yeah. I opened up my phone, I just went through this whole thing, the whole process with them and on the phone and trying to get stuff fixed. Where they did a split because it has 5G and 2.4 gigahertz frequencies. So it's like, okay, well, we're going to set up a split. So we have one for 2.4 and one for 5 gigahertz. So it's not trying to shuffle back and forth between the two on one connection. Mm-hmm. And that hasn't solved anything. I go to try to open up Twitter and it just sits there and spins. I'm better off switching over to LTE, which is already practically in a dead zone in that area as well. So yeah, it's like, ugh.
Fios is pretty. What do you have at your house now?
Fios.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
It's fantastic. It doesn't throttle. It's always the same speed. Oh. It's just golden.
And it's cheaper than Time Warner Cable for me, at least.
Yeah,
it's cheaper and 3 times faster. Sign me up.
She pays less than me for her faster speed with Comcast, but honestly, I wouldn't want to deal with it.
Why did you change out a router, or can you not?
Probably could. It's just it's just happened in the past few months. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
So sorry, I didn't mean to distract, but it just popped in my head.
No, that's all right. I don't even know how we got onto this. By the way, how do we get onto PewDiePie when we're talking about tech?
I don't know.
Yeah, this is gonna be like really quick. I just wanted to like comment on this because I just saw like everyone out there yesterday just like completely bombarding the story. Like, oh my god, it's like I've almost as a joke today. I wanted to call the show like something PewDiePie in the title. I wanted to call it something PewDiePie in the title.
Clickbait.
Just clickbait. I mean, even Casey Neistat had jumped on this. They had apparently Wall Street Journal published something where they kind of painted it to make him look like he was an anti-Semite, which is completely seemingly untrue.
Yeah.
It was a gag, and they took it completely out of context and edited this video together to make it look like he was promoting like Hitler and hate speech, which is absurd.
He's the last person on earth I'd ever think is racist. I don't understand. They're just.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of his content really, but he seems like a great person. Honestly, he seems like a very nice guy. I'm not a fan of his content.
Did you watch his thing with H3H3? His
yes.
Yeah, like he seems like a normal dude.
Yeah.
I hate his content. It's awful, but he seems like he's not racist.
His content's not targeted to us. It's
No.
But H3H3 I like. I watch all of his videos.
I love H3H3.
H3H3 I have the notification bell for H3H3. That's how high I'm on that level. that's some next gen stuff, man. I only got like 6 channels like that I hit the bell for, and he's one of them.
There you go.
But yeah, PewDiePie. Just I think this will get resolved. Like he lost his YouTube Red show that he had been working on, and he also got dropped by Maker Studios. But I think after this reaction and once these people actually realize what the true story is, I think he'll get it back. I think he'll get.
I guess those guys don't like money. I don't know why you would ever drop anything from PewDiePie.
Well, because they don't want to be related to this.
Do people really think that? Like, how many YouTube subscriptions have they lost because of this?
Well, in the age of fake news, do you think it really matters? It's whatever someone says first is what happens. You know, that's what it is. Or whoever spoke last.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I tend not to click on these clickbait articles for this reason.
Yeah, anyway, moving back on. Battlefield 1. They got their winter patch yesterday, which I had a chance to play around a little bit earlier. This game, honestly, I enjoyed it really when it first came out, but I've been disappointed. I feel like the community has kind of dropped down over the past few months. I can't even get into a game of Operations anymore, which was my favorite thing on this game.
Operations are fun. I loved it.
Operations is awesome, but on the PC, I can't get into a match. I mean, I'm sure someone will in the chats be like, I was just playing yesterday. I have no problem. Like, all right, fair play. I've tried to get into servers over the past like 3 weeks. You know, not like all the time, but I'll try to hop in and be like, all right, let's see if we can play Operations, and it'll just load us in with just like 2 people, and we'll sit there for 10 minutes and nobody joins, and then we just like, all right, let's go play 24-player Rush, which is not great because it's just grenade spam, but there it is. But I think this patch was needed. They increased the class rank cap from 10 up to 50, although you don't really get any rewards for it, but besides the change the color of like the emblem you get from like bronze to gold, like whoop-de-doo. I kind of feel like the progression system was almost like an afterthought for DICE on this one. Have you spent much time on BF1? I know before it came out you were saying you were a fan.
Yeah, actually, me and my buddies played a lot the past couple months. We just kind of got bored of it. It's the same old maps. Operations was fun for a while, but if you're defending, you always... I mean, I won once defending, but you always end up being on the defending team because no one wants to play defender. And just some of the guns in that game are so annoying, and it's heavily dependent on the team. I don't know. It's all right. The biggest thing is you're getting the game modes are getting stale, and the maps are kind of boring. But yeah, it's not the worst Battlefield game I've ever played.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of the Battlefield YouTubers that I watch say stuff like that. That, you know, by this time BF4 already had 3 DLCs out, and Battlefield 1 hasn't released a single DLC yet, except for I think, was there one map? I think they added in one map, didn't they?
Maybe. I don't have the $50.
Yeah, I don't have that either.
You don't have that, so I don't know. I get whatever they give me.
I think I'm mistaken about the one map. I don't think they've even done that on this one, because like in the previous games they had added in like one extra map like a month after launch. It was like if you had pre-ordered basically, but yeah. I don't think they did that this time around. And we're meant to be getting the French DLC pretty soon, but I don't know. I just haven't played this game as much as previous ones.
I won't be excited for it. I mean, they kind of, if they were to, I mean, when I was playing it, I mean, when everyone was playing it you kind of got to give. I think they waited too long to release DLC and content. It's just, even if they release it tomorrow, I'd be like, I'm kind of over the game right now. So,
for me, what's kind of taken away from it is, I've been saying this since before the game even came out, is not having real custom servers. They do have rent a server now, but it's so restricted to the point is it's almost just like taking a server and just putting your name on it for the sake of doing it.
Yeah.
You know, you can't go take Rush and say, okay, I want to make Rush 1,000 tickets and I want to make it 64 players. You can't do that. You just can't. And that's what I used to always do, going back in all of the Battlefields, is I would find servers that met exactly what I wanted to do with the settings I wanted to use, and then I would favorite those servers, and I'd always go back to those servers because usually they would have communities and the servers would always be full and active. But now it's like there's no connection between me and any of the servers that I join. It's just, I'm just going to join whatever server has the right amount of people with a slot for me and a good ping.
Yep.
That's pretty much it. Whereas before it was like, no, there was more of a sense of community. I would see the same people around. You know, we'd get on TeamSpeak or Discord or whatever and play together. And now it doesn't feel like any of that. It feels more of like a Call of Duty console experience to me.
Yeah. In Battlefield 4, my favorite map, the one I always played to, was a custom server. It was pistols and knives only, and that's it. And it was really fun. But you can't do that stuff now, really.
No, they are doing some stuff like that, but it's like
Is it?
it's really restricted, and it's not what it once was. It's certainly not what it once was. They did add it in this patch. They said admins will now be able to ban or kick players from the game, which is a good thing.
That wasn't in before.
No, not for, if you rented a server, you basically had like no power.
Really, that's dumb.
And the other thing that I noticed in here, which was it was probably good news for a lot of other people, but not good news for me because I'm a bit of a spam whore. I'll just take whatever is the most OP gun and I'll use that. So I would run around with Model 10A Hunter or Automatico Trench and just hip fire in the people in the face from 50 meters out like a laser beam.
Yep.
But they added I think it was 14.3% horizontal recoil to the Automatico Trench, and I tried using it earlier today on Domination, and it was just not what it was. It's not the same anymore.
It's not broken anymore.
It's not my favorite gun anymore.
Yeah.
Now I've been using the BAR Storm, I think it is.
BAR is pretty broken.
I like the BAR. I got the gold one. It's the only gun that I got a gold skin for, so I'm like, I need to use this. And I've always liked bars. This other story here, this is also concerning EA. Their Origin Access subscription service is right now running for a limited time free trial. You can get a 7-day trial on it, which is awesome. This is like, I'm not being endorsed by EA. I've had this thing pretty much since it came out. It's a really good deal. So if you decide to keep it, it's $5 a month. Usually you get 10 hours access to games before they come out, like Battlefield 1 before it came out. I was able to play 10 hours of that before it released. Even if I had already bought it, but even if I didn't buy the game, I would have been able to play it for 10 hours to see if I liked it before I bought it. They did the same thing with Mirror's Edge 2. You get 10% off games. Any game you buy in the Origin store, you get 10% off. And they also have the vault with all of these games, which they're always adding more games to this. But if you get this thing for $5, you instantly get Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, Battlefield Hardline, all the Crysis games, all the Dead Spaces, all the Dragon Age, Origins 2, and Inquisition. You get all the Mass Effects, all the Plants vs. Zombies. Like, you get so many great games. Like, for $5 a month, it's almost worth getting it, even if you just want to play a few of the games and then cancel it. One of the few services out there, I'm just like, yeah, this is good. I wish Steam had something like this. I've talked with Anthony about this before. It's like, Steam needs to have something like this. Origin's doing this thing right, the subscription thing. So, good stuff. Do you have Origin access at all?
No, I don't. I hop on, play Battlefield, and get off.
Yeah. Now, someone said in the chat you pay for demos. It's not really paying for demos, man. You got like a 10-hour early access. That's a little bit more than a demo. That's like the full game for 10 hours.
Which in most games, this is the entire game.
Yeah. The ones in the vault are the full games. You get to play all of those. You basically own them, and if you ever buy the game, choose to buy the game itself, then all of your saves and everything transfer over. It's a good service. I wish more stuff had kind of stuff like this.
Although Razor Blazer is right, I basically do have all these games already, but
yeah, true. That's very true. Because I have all these games too, and I haven't really. The only one I've taken advantage of is Mirror's Edge 2. Didn't pick that up at launch, so I was just like, oh, they added that, and that's like practically a new game. So I play that, and it's good stuff. Love it. All right, Wolfenstein New Colossus. This got teased by the voice actor that does BJ Blazkowicz in the last game. I really like the last Wolfenstein, and I love what they did with Doom, bringing that into the EdTech 6 engine. Ran absolutely amazing on Vulkan, so I'm looking forward to seeing a new Wolfenstein game from those guys when they come out with this one finally. Did you play the last Wolfenstein or Doom?
I was just gonna say, I have not played either. I'm in the middle of Doom 3 right now, but I have not played. I was just gonna say, don't ask me about any comments. I have never played Wolfenstein, so I don't know if it's my style of game or. I just haven't really got into it.
It's just you just shoot Nazis in the face.
I could do that.
There you go. Wolfenstein New Order was great, man. You could probably pick that for like $5 or $10. I definitely recommend that one.
Who makes it? Bethesda.
Yeah.
If it's Bethesda, then yeah, it's probably a good game.
It's really good. It's a little bit issues with optimization. Like it's on OpenGL, so it's restricted to a single GPU. It is capped at 60 FPS, but yeah, it's really good. Like the gameplay and the campaign, and everything is just top notch. But it looks like like I said, from the voice actor, he had kind of been giving an interview with Two Left Sticks was the name of the outlet. And he says, quote unquote, if you look at Bethesda's E3 2016 lineup, there was a title hinted at in a cool way. It sparked a bit of a wildfire. that subtle, very simple DOS language going through the titles. Perhaps we're working on that as we speak, quote unquote. So he's basically saying that maybe we are working on a game right now, and being that he is BJ Blazkowicz and he's working with Bethesda, then it would stand to reason that the game they're working on right now is a new Wolfenstein game, which very well may be this new Colossus game that had been hinted at last year at E3. So I'm definitely excited for this one to get more details, and yeah, sweet. All right, Intel, it looks like they have now added official support for Vulkan for Skylake as well as Kaby Lake. So the Kaby Lake ones are now getting Vulkan support, so that it'll work on Windows 10, and then Skylake is going to be working on Windows 7, 8.1, and 10. So that means if you're running on the integrated graphics on the Intel CPU, then you will be able to utilize Vulkan, which now, obviously, most of us, if you guys are gamers out there watching this show on PC, which most of you probably are, you're like, oh, I don't even use integrated graphics. Who needs that trash? Well, it is a good thing for the sense of that seems more likely that the game developers will now have better access to testing Vulkan on Intel CPUs, not just on AMD or NVIDIA. So maybe we'll start to see more titles getting Vulkan support. That's kind of what they allude to here in the article, which I'm in agreement with. Adding more Vulkan support out there certainly is not a bad thing, and seeing the gains that we saw in Doom are just incredible, way more than what we've seen so far in DirectX 12. That's something we're going to be talking about in just a minute with Sniper Elite 4. There's been some controversy about that with the DirectX 12 performance, but yeah, I'm glad they're adding in more Vulkan support on this. I want to see Vulkan in way more games. You haven't played Doom, so you haven't had the chance to enjoy what Vulkan has to offer, have you?
I had not. No, I haven't. Well, I have it. I played the first level, and I've got so many games right now. I kind of hop between a million different games. So
it's incredible, man. I'm telling you, like if you have an AMD graphics card that is like you just swap between like OpenGL and Vulkan, and you're just like, oh my god, it's insane. It's like it makes the RX 480 at 1440p almost look like a GTX 1080. That's how much of a boost it gets in Vulkan. It's like RX 480, like over 100 frames in 1440p. I'm just like, pfft. Like what?
yeah, it's better than DX12 is not starting off to a great start with me.
No, it hasn't gotten off to a good start. I mean, the only game I've really played where I felt like it was truly being leveraged was Gears of War 4. Division also did pretty good with it. Even though they added it in post-launch, they added in the DirectX 12. It actually gave it gains for NVIDIA and AMD. Yeah. So still focusing on DirectX 12 here, though, with our last topic. If you guys want to go ahead and start firing us questions in chat for the Q&A, then we'll be able to do those as soon as we finish up with this topic on Sniper Elite 4. I did a video on this where I actually saw performance loss when switching to DirectX 12, whether it was with NVIDIA or AMD cards. And even today, like I tried it again, I was like, let me go back and check this, and it's still, I see worse performance in DirectX 12. But it seems like my numbers are not lining up with other people's out there, like Computerbase.d. They did some testing where they saw gains on both NVIDIA as well as AMD and other people out there. So I'm really not sure why I'm seeing different numbers and seeing a performance loss when switching over to DX12. I really can't pinpoint it down or figure it out. But a lot of people are saying it is running better in DX12. And AMD is pushing hard really right now because they've added in multi-GPU support for DirectX 12 to the point where it's actually getting true DirectX 12 scaling, where if you throw in an RX 480 and you're getting 60 FPS, and you throw in another RX 480, you're going to get 120 FPS. They're basically promising 100% GPU scaling for multi-GPU, which is what we've been talking about ever since we first began discussing DirectX 12, is for SLI and multi-GPU support, is that this is the way it should work, is having everything rendered in parallel and giving you perfect scaling. So for SLI users like you, Tyler, this should be a dream if this is realized in the future for more games.
Let's hope.
Is that all you got?
That's all I got.
You're a man of many words, sir.
Speaking of Sniper Elite, I'm assuming it's just Sniper Elite 3, but more missions. I'm assuming it's the same thing.
It's very much the same thing. The levels are bigger, and the levels are bigger.
Cool.
And they've also, unfortunately, have gone the way of milking people for day one DLC. Some of the guns in the game are hidden behind a paywall. It's like you load
I
up.
guess they're like some of the best guns, right? I'm assuming.
It's like you load up the game and it's like, oh look, grease gun. Oh, sorry, that's DLC. Like you want like
Why would you use a
the
grease gun if you're a sniper?
well, you got to have an SMG for in
Oh, for
case anything.
backup.
Yeah, for backup.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I have a hard time paying full price for these kind of games because you're gonna play it in single player for 10 hours, 20 hours, and be done with it. So I'll just wait till it goes on sale. But I do like Sniper Elite 3. That was a fun game.
Hey Tyler, switch to a tab that is white in color.
Yeah, I noticed that. Oh, I'm reading the Radeon one, and that's black. So
Yeah, I know. No, I know. I saw it when you switched before, but no, I can see you fine. But let's see. Someone said, "Have you ever heard of lights?" Joker, don't you test with an i5? I was for a while. I was testing with the i5 6600K. I've still got it here, but now I'm transitioning into using the 7700K so that we can kind of eliminate a bottleneck there that could be present in some games that don't have want to take advantage of the hyper threading and all that. Let's see. I'm going through the Q&A now, looking for questions here. Have you backed Star Citizen? Yes, I did back Star Citizen. I got the. I haven't touched it in ages. I got the. What was it? I think it's the tracker, one of the trackers or something like that. I don't know. It was I think it was $55. I think I put up. I don't remember what it was called though.
So the game's never coming out though, right? Ever?
I believe we're going to be getting it eventually. Yeah, that's the plan.
4 years from now.
Yeah. No, you're not allowed to talk bad about Star Citizen.
I can't say anything about it, but all I know is that the game has been in development for 4 years, and that game I've got myself and a group of friends. There's between 5 and 8 of us, depending on who's on at the time, and I can't think of a more fun way to play a game than all of us in a ship shooting down other ships. That sounds fantastic, but they need to launch the game so we can do that.
Games asked if AMD CPUs are just as good as Intel CPUs, would you upgrade to AMD? Well, that's the plan right now. I'm waiting for the 1800X, and I'm expecting to have one at the very least. And if it does prove to be better for my needs for rendering out videos again, if it's faster than my 6800K, then I'm definitely switching it over to Ryzen. That day, no questions asked. Okay, we're switching to Ryzen now because I need faster rendering times. When I'm trying to do 4K 60 FPS stuff like that, it's brutal. Talking about for 4K 60 FPS for a 5-minute video, you're talking an hour render time on a 6-core at 4.3 gigahertz. So if I can cut some time off of that, then yeah.
Justin Chan asked, "Do I have any recommendations on alternatives to the LiPay 2024 amplifier for speakers?" That 100% depends on your budget, but I'm going to send you to 2 places. Logan and I did a video on speakers. On Crit TV, you can check that out. And if you don't like my recommendations, you can go to, if you type in Z Reviews Reddit, and then I think you type in speakers. He has a pretty good list of, go to Reddit /r/Zeos, Zeos. There should be something on there about speakers. And he lists different devices at different prices. So you can do that.
All right. Don asked for a chair update. I've had a lot of people ask me for a chair update. The Vertigear is still going strong. I mean, you see it here. I'm using it. I've been using it in every TGW. I've been using it every single day. My old chair is over there now. I only sit in it if I'm at the test PC benchmarking games. Otherwise, I'm in this chair whenever I'm doing stuff at the computer. So it's still going strong. It's still holding up my fat ass fine. It hasn't broke. Nothing's snapped off. I can still lean back in it. It started to have a little bit of a squeak, but nothing too major. Nothing too major that I couldn't fix with some WD-40 on there. But yeah, it's great. Love it.
Joker, what got you into YouTube?
Boredom.
I like that answer.
Pretty much, yeah. That's pretty much what it was. I was just bored sitting around doing nothing. I had been writing for a little while for one of my friends' websites. We were writing about games and not really making any money doing it. And I had seen Boogie2988 actually. I was watching his videos and I was just I remember seeing, it was around when he was maybe 250,000 subscribers. And I had realized that he was making a living doing that. And I was just oh my God, I could do that. I could be a fat guy and sit in a room and yell about video games. I do that now anyway. All I gotta do is turn the camera on.
There you go.
So that's what I did. And it kind of evolved from there, just me just being a raging fat guy into being a slightly technical fat guy.
You're not too raging anymore. Although the first video I ever saw review, I think you're the Batman review. Yeah, that was good. I like that.
Yeah, yeah. Is that why you didn't send me any samples right away?
Come on.
This guy's gonna get my deck and he's just gonna smash it against the wall.
So this guy messaged me. I think I don't know. You probably had like. So I get emails all the time with people with like 1,500 subscribers, and guys, I don't want to be an asshole about it, but like I have to get my money back out of sending you a $300 amp. So if I send you a review unit, either I send a review unit to something like Harbor, Canucks, or whatever. He's got 300,000 subscribers, or I can send one to you and you've got 2,000 subscribers. Nothing personal. It's literally just a business thing. So this guy, him, like everyone else, hey, he's got like 2,000 subscribers at the time. And he goes, hey, I love your videos, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm sorry, man. If you can come back to me at like 10,000 subscribers. That's what I always say, come back to me at like 10,000 subscribers. 90% of the time, people don't really get, which is not to be an asshole again, like I said, but most people don't get there. So that's funny. I think the day he hit 10,000 subscribers, he messaged me. He goes, "Hey man, you remember me? Can you say I hit?"
You're talking about me, right? You're talking about me, yeah.
So I'm like, all right, damn, all right, fine, here you go. So I sent him one.
He did. He was the first person I had ever messaged about getting a sample that didn't choose to just ignore me or turn me down. He gave me a goal. He's like, "Oh, this is the number this is what I need to see in order to justify sending out a unit." And I was just like, Thank you for just telling me that, so I can stop having the guesswork or just get ignored, and I could just say, okay, once I get 10K subs, I'll be back.
Yep, and you did it.
And that's what I did. So yeah, people like the rant videos. I know. The problem is every time I do a rant video, I lose subscribers because so many people have subscribed to me since I stopped really doing those, and they don't know me from that. Mm-hmm. So they just see a video with me loading up, and I'm just like, oh my god, Joker lost his shit. But yeah, they're fun to do. It's got to be the right thing, man. I don't want to force it. There had been a couple like very early on, like the BioShock one that I had kind of forced, just because I had saw that those videos were getting way more views than anything else that I was doing by a ridiculous amount. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, I just need to find more things to be angry about to do these, and that's how I thought that's what I was going to be. I thought that's all I was going to do was yell forever at that time. That's all I thought I was going to do. Yeah. Glad I don't. I don't want to be that guy. The rant videos are absolutely huge. See, that's something I actually have been thinking about doing. Is I was thinking about doing either an entire news video or something as Donald Trump, maybe a PC build.
Build. And
Donald Trump builds a PC.
But you got to have a suit, and you got to have something with the hair.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking. I got to get like a blue suit, red power tie, blonde wig of whatever that thing is on top of his head, and somehow make my hands really small so I can't even grip the computer parts. I need to shrink my hands down. So I'm trying to screw with these screws, but the screws are just too freaking big.
Dude, you gotta do that.
I'm trying. The motherboard, it's tremendous. It's maybe the biggest motherboard I've ever seen. What is this, an EATX? Absolutely fucking huge.
Yeah, you gotta do that. I'll sponsor it.
I guess if Vega is better than NVIDIA, you would upgrade to Vega. Correct. I've said that before because I literally have an identical panel that's FreeSync, just like my G-Sync monitor. Identical, the same exact panel, just one's FreeSync, one's G-Sync. So if I get a better AMD GPU than my NVIDIA GPU, all I'm going to do is take this monitor and go switch, even switch, done and dusted. It would be huge, tremendous, absolutely the biggest thing I've ever done.
Huge.
All right. I'm seeing the questions kind of die out, so I think we're going to go ahead and get on out of here. Thank you for joining me once again, Tyler. Hopefully we have you back in the future.
Sure.
And I think up at PAX, I might try to do... I mean, I could do TGW before PAX. I mean, I'm leaving on Thursday. But I kind of like the idea of doing one live from there. So I might try to get... I had messaged Steve. I'm trying to see if Steve wants to do it. I haven't heard back from him yet. But yeah, maybe Steve, maybe you could stop by if you're not busy on the night if I decide to do to do it up there. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we might do one from up at PAX. Just not sure who will be there yet.
If you need me, just you know where I am.
Yeah. All right, guys, but we're gonna get out of here. Thanks for watching and everything. Don't forget to leave us a like down below if you enjoyed the episode, and catch you next week. And don't forget the KB Lake build is coming very soon, which I've codenamed as Frame Raider, Raider, because it's silver and black like the Oakland Raiders, and it's gonna raid the frames, and it's like frame rates. Like, get it? Play on. I'm just gonna go now.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go away with my puns and my dad jokes. All right. Catch you guys next week.
Later, guys.
Ta-da!